Every time I hit that, it's like Beavis and Butthead.
Did you write that?
Did you get that?
Did you record that?
No, it's one of the pre-recordings that come with the road.
I love it. Do you have a theme song yet?
Road Hard. That is my theme song.
Okay.
I'm 168 episodes in. I just used the road one.
I love it. You should write one.
I don't know if anybody, all the podcasts I listen to, I don't know anybody else that uses the road intro
good.
song.
I like it. Like
so
energy.
I do believe that it is licensed through Rode, so I'm all good. Right?
I think you're fine.
Yeah, I think I'm all right. Anyways. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of On the Delo. It's 168. I hope I'm right in that. Yeah, 168 episodes.
Dang.
Yeah, we're cruising. Most people quit after 3.
Yeah.
But not me. I'm not
I
a
stopped
quitter.
before I started, so
Yeah, right.
you're ahead of me.
It's always a good idea until you realize how much work it is. And even today, we were working on new camera setup and all sorts of stuff. So we'll see how this turns out, folks.
Oh, it's going to level up. You look at some people's feeds and see like as they post and progress, and like that's just a natural part of doing it.
Well, it's going to level up because we're talking about fries, and who doesn't love fries?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? So, welcome, Gabe.
Thank you.
Gabe is my guest. He was supposed to be my guest, but we were also supposed to have Flip. But can you say what happened to Flip?
He had
flip?
emergency back surgery because he's getting old, like all of us, and he was trying to take care of his body and lifted too many weights. We joke he lifted too many
potatoes. Sack of potatoes.
Sacks of potatoes. Totes. We deal with totes now.
Wow.
Yeah, we're big.
Yeah, he's funny like that. So Facebook and the algorithms and the robots and the AI, how we're all just pretty much screwed. I go into my office while you're here. First thing that pops up is him on my feed.
Yeah.
He hasn't shown up on my feed forever.
Did you see, was it the picture in the back of the ambulance?
Yeah, in the back of the ambulance.
He's okay, by the way. The surgery went great.
That's so
well.
rock and roll, though.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we do. Entrepreneurs, we kill ourselves to make an awesome French fry.
So since we got to pivot a little bit, let's talk about you because you are ingrained into the industry of all industries. I think it's a funny backstory how we met. We just talked about this last weekend because you and I are, for lack of better terms, family, and we had something to take care of. And for people listening, it's interesting. So when I met my wife, it was around. Well, I met her a while ago, but I was getting, I guess, more formally engaged by texting her and doing all this stuff. Probably 11 years ago. Does that sound about right?
That sounds right. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I'm on a mutual friend of ours, Julian Wright. I'm on his couch, and I'm texting her, and Julian's like, hey, dude, we're going to take this thing called Uber. I was like, what is that? And he's like, well, some guy comes up and picks you up in his car. Okay.
It wasn't me, by the way. I was not that guy. But.
No, you weren't. So, but the Uber did take us to you, and you were doing some sort of an event at Robbie Fox's. It was like an Irish bar that night?
Yeah, that sounds right. We had a table. We had those black cards. We were just spreading the gospel of Uber.
So how did you get the job at Uber to begin with?
Yeah, that's a fun story. So my friend Jen Joyce was the first employee marketing manager in Seattle. She's from here, moved to Seattle, was working with hotels and hospitality. She got tapped on the shoulder to be the first Uber employee in Seattle. And when Uber was just thinking about coming to Phoenix, she literally texted me and said, hey, you should apply for this. And I worked at GoDaddy at the time, and like I was in the corporate accounts department, like I was working with folks like TED.com and like big name companies, but like I wasn't really thinking about limos. And so like TechCrunch was on my radar. So I knew about Uber. I just knew Uber wasn't in Phoenix. So I kind of like swiped that away. And when she texted me, I actually did some research and looked into it. And I was like, this is actually a fun looking company. It's a tech company. It's not a limo company. It's not a black car service like what I thought it was. And so I applied. And it took about 6 to 7 months from applying to getting the job because, like all responsible tech companies that are moving too fast, they had to do some market research. They weren't in LA yet. They weren't in Dallas. They weren't in the spread out markets. They were just in San Francisco and New York, and they're all over the place. I think Phoenix was like 9 or 11. I can't remember.
Were you number one in Phoenix?
I was the first employee here. Yeah,
Holy
absolutely.
shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
Crazy, right?
Yeah, and that was only 11 years ago or so.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. That's pretty insane. So did you, I don't know if you did, I did. My wife and I watched that Netflix series that they had.
Super pumped.
Yeah. Any relevance to it?
Honestly, I think they misrepresented a lot of the characters at the executive level. I won't defend anybody on anything that's happened in the past, but just having known some of these people, like it was kind of a one-sided take on everything that went down. And there's a lot of really great people that put a lot of hard work into that company, and Yeah, I just think that there's more stories to be told around the people as they've come out of that company, is how I'd say it.
So, all right. So onward and upward, Uber's over. You're kind of just doing your thing. You've always been into, obviously you're an artist, so you play guitar and you sing and you write and all that. And you also take photography, actually amazing photography. What got you into that?
I've always been into photography. I started shooting when I was a kid. My mom had this old Minolta camera that I would take pictures of animals. So growing up, my mom actually did wildlife rehabilitation. So like foxes, owls, hawks, eagles. There's actually an eagle that lived in my house, grew up in my house in Wisconsin, that lives in Scottsdale. Her name's Aurora, one-eyed eagle. You've seen her on TV.
Okay.
Actually grew up in my house.
She lived in your house.
Yeah, my mom, when they moved out here, they moved the eagle here because eagles are actually like tied to
still alive?
Yeah, absolutely. At Liberty Wildlife, you can go visit.
Dude, I just got my Eagle membership from Liberty Wildlife. I got the stickers. They're on my desk.
Dude, go.
Literally.
Well, let's go together. I haven't seen Aurora in a long time. I'll show you a video after this of like Aurora's.
You can introduce me to her. Is she going to remember you?
No. But Joe is her handler, and Joe is like basically bonded with this bird.
Yeah.
And like it's hilarious because like this bird loved my mom, hated my dad. Like literally, like, and eagles are scary. They're like their wings go.
Oh yeah, they're huge.
Out. They're huge. So, yeah. So. Wildlife Rehab, I got to take pictures of eagles being released into the wild, and like one of actually my favorite photos I ever took was of this red fox that had been imprinted. It lived at our house for educational purposes. Nothing lived in our house. We had cages and stuff that my dad built for them.
You didn't sleep in the bed with the fox?
No, that wouldn't be cool. And also, foxes are not pets as cute as they are and as much as we want them to be. But so I took a picture of this fox that we named Kitsu, which is kind of a riff on fox in Japanese, and Kitsu neighboring, which I love.
That's so funny.
And our daughter's name is Kitsu.
Right.
And so I kind of came from that whole full circle. It means fox. So I took a picture of this fox, and I just kind of like fell in love with photography. And I started taking pictures. And then, I went to college, kind of fell on the back burner. I did communication. I did a lot of stuff, like just a master of none,
College is a waste of money. Did you finish it and pay for all that stuff?
Yeah, it actually worked out. But the irony, I've told many people this, is like I went to ASU for 4 years. It's why I'm here.
Yeah.
I did everything but an internship. So I walked, I got a T-shirt, and I hold no degree.
Yeah. Wow.
But I've reapplied for internships in the year that I graduated in and all that stuff, and I've gotten it, and then I keep getting jobs and progressing onward and upward. So I just kind of like put that on the back burner, and like maybe they'll give me an honorary degree at some point. I'm like, I helped bring Uber here. I launched Uber Eats here. Like I've done a lot of fun things for the community. I hope that there's something
all
out there
because of that college degree, Gabe.
Yeah,
all
100%.
because right. Look, I no fault to anybody listening to this that went to college. I went to college. I got a piece of paper from ASU. It was an amazing experience.
Honestly, is
that's the music connection. I mean, I worked for Warner Brothers. That's the reason why I love music so much and did the things, is because I went to college. But it was really, for me, it was that relativity of experience that allowed me to become into what I was destined to become into. Yeah. Which ended up being an insurance agent. Go figure.
Had nothing to do with the classes you took.
Exactly. Yeah. So who knows? All right. Well, college schmollege. So disclaimer: don't go catch foxes and try to sleep with them unless you're a single dude and you're trying to get women in Old Town Scottsdale, right? Or cougars, right? You can sleep with the cougars.
Yeah, they're dangerous too, though.
They're also dangerous. So you are married.
Yeah.
Yes, I am married. That's good. How old are you now?
42.
42. That's right.
It?
No, that's crazy. I'm 51. So what? How do you like your everyday life right now? And we'll get into Fries and what you do all there, but I want people to just kind of get to know the man. So you have a beautiful little daughter. You have another child on the way.
Yep.
Right.
True story.
Another boy or girl? Another girl.
Yeah,
that's right.
House of Girls.
House of Girls, 3-1. Oh my goodness. So like, what's your day in and day out as far as your like healthy habits and all that stuff you guys like to do together?
It's hard. It's a struggle, and like I feel like I've learned a lot from working at Uber and like what that was like, putting all the time and just like working at a fast growing startup, which Frites Street is.
Is it true as far as like the tech crunch sort of? Because I've been through this with Sinatra and all the dealings, all that, or at least what they thought they were trying to look like the next Uber, right? So when you talk about your experience at Uber, is it really not even what you see on TV, but what people might analyze as like, oh, you don't sleep, oh, you just crush, you grind.
I mean, if I'm being honest, like as we were being onboarded, we had documents that said like, yeah, you can literally respond to the support support tickets from a bar on your phone because we've got Zendesk on your phone. Like, it was a non-stop business.
Right.
And like, I've tried to break that habit, you know, like my dad definitely like left for work at 5 a.m., came home at like 7 p.m. and kept working. Like, he was an entrepreneur too. He had to get it done. And I think like what I take away from it is like when you're part of a business like Uber or Frites Street and you're in such a small team, you've got a job to do and it's got to get done because that's the reason you're doing it. You're building a business. You've been there, right? But I think the biggest thing is communication and work-life balance is still not the right word because there's really no balance. It's just, I think communication. That's the biggest thing that I've tried to work on with my family is like, how do we fit life and work together because they do exist together and they always will exist together. And I'm not a great communicator all the time, so I'm just working on it, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good perspective because when you look at the work is life and life is work, right?
Yeah.
And family is family, and you do things in the context of what is called work in order to provide for that family, and yet the family can also be a part of it if you choose for it to be. And you do a very good job. You and Paige do a very good job of molding that and blending that together.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely right. Like, I try to do as much as I can to involve both of us in the same communities, and she does the same thing with like her job and what she does, and so we get to work side by side. And I think it's just like the challenge is that when you work at a startup, oftentimes you aren't compensated what you would be if you worked at a corporation.
Yeah.
And it's about building the business so that you can, you know, earn more later or like have flexibility later. So there's a little bit of sacrifice that goes into it up front. And that's the challenge is like, well, what's really important and things that I've learned from Uber is that some of the sacrifice isn't worth it.
Right.
And so like, how do you set boundaries to where you are really like leaning into the things that are important to family, whether it's vacation or just like quality time and things that, again, I'm not great at, I'm trying to be better at. And that's the whole thing is like, you know, 10% better every day.
Yeah.
And eventually you'll be 100% better and then you just keep improving.
No, that's beautifully said. And I think the acknowledgement of those terms are what lends us to understand that when you do perform that and you see that, there's a sense of, you know, relief, you know? So it's cool to be building that. I'm still trying to get better, you know, every single minute. It's like, it's hard. Relationships are tough, you know, and not in a bad way. They just are.
No, it's relationships are work.
Yeah.
And, you know, but not in like the grind. And it can be really rewarding when you kind of figure out some of the things that you struggle with. And I look back at my relationship with Paige from like the last 5-6 years, and I will say that we have both gotten so much better communicating with each other. We've grown a lot. And I would say the versions of the people that we were then are very different than the versions we are now, which has made us better parents and like more equipped to do what we're doing now.
That's a good thing in a good way for everybody that goes through that. Okay. So you go from Uber to, were you doing it? I know you were playing at places, doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
So was there a little bit of a gap in between that and then going and being the fry guy?
I left Uber burnt out.
Yeah.
I was like counting the days to when I could step away because I had to like fully vest. I had to do all the things. And like, I loved it. Don't get me wrong. Like, I loved it, but it was very stressful towards the end. And so when I stepped away, I knew I needed some kind of reset and I didn't know what I was going to do. So I took like a sort of hiatus to refocus and decide like to focus on the things that I really love to do, which was photography and music. Because like, I'm not even joking, the literal day that I posted on social media that I left Uber, my former colleague called me, like one of my best friends called me. He's like, "Hey Gabe, I was waiting for this moment. I couldn't call you until this moment because of like non-competes, but I have a job offer for you." And I was like, "I'm so sorry. I want to say yes. I would love to do that. I need some time." And I really do feel like that was the right decision. A lot of my colleagues, they went right into the next to like build their equity in more companies and like keep the upward trajectory. And I knew I needed a reset. And so I started playing music at anywhere that I could. I was friends with the folks from Garage, so I was playing a lot of gigs there. Tempe Public Market Cafe, back when Renee was the chef.
Oh my God. Yeah.
That whole team, like, and back to like why I really don't regret any of those decisions. Like, Renee and I became really good friends. There's a lot of people like LT, who's now at Chilte. Like, we became sort of tight back then, and like I would say we're tight now. Like, but just like being in the sphere of the people that I got to surround myself with, and like be a part of their journey, whether through music or then through photography, like that has been the most rewarding thing. And especially after stepping away from Uber, when we launched Uber Eats out here, I got connected to so many chefs. I was already connected to so many chefs because of you and Julian, and literally just belling up to the bar and talking to bartenders and saying like, have you heard about Uber? Have you heard about a safe ride option where you can actually get someone to pick you up? And they're like, oh my God, can I be your friend? And I'm like, absolutely, because I'm friends with everybody.
Yeah.
And so like going back into the hospitality world and saying like, hey, do you need photos? And like, hey, do you want to do this? And like my friend who offered me the job, it was like, I don't want to take this job, but like if you guys need a photographer because it was Cloud Kitchens, so they were basically working on this food truck aspect of it, where you could go to a commissary kitchen, food trucks would park there, and then you could order them on Uber Eats, DoorDash, whatever it was. It was a cool platform.
That's crazy.
So I helped all these food trucks take professional photography for the first time, so they would have photos in their apps. And
wait, was Flip one of them?
You know what? Actually, yeah, Flip was one of them at one point.
Because Frites was developed out of a food truck.
Yeah, so Frites Street did start as a food truck, and that's how Flip and I actually met.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
See,
like
you're talking about your story, and all of a sudden it's like, wait a minute, this is
it all comes together.
Yeah.
So literally, the way that Flip and I, we like knew of each other. He was a server at the Gladly.
Yeah.
And he had this idea to start a food truck, and he did it. He branded it. I don't know if you remember Ty Largo.
Oh yeah.
Ty was his PR guy and marketing guy. Love him and I miss him. And Ty and I were tight, and he's like, hey man, this guy is doing this fry crawl, and he's gonna go to Welcome Diner, the OG Welcome Diner.
Yeah.
He's gonna go to the Gladly and a couple other spots, and people are gonna be drinking and eating his fries. We need a safe ride option. I was like, we will be that. So back in the day, I had some keys I could turn and give away a ton of free rides. And so anyone that went to that crawl got a free Uber ride to go between the different locations so that they could be safe while drinking and enjoying French fries.
It's funny you bring up Ty, because the reason why I met Flip was through Osborne. And it was Thanksgiving at Osborne's house. And it was, the five of us, because Chris was single at the time. But yeah, it's wild. Yeah. Time goes by too fast. Okay.
I keep saying, as we get older, the threads that connect us are getting shorter and shorter.
For sure. Yeah. There was something about that movie, 6 Degrees of Separation, or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Okay. So, wow. Yeah. So it kind of, what Uber allowed you to do was, it was kind of the antithesis to get to know these chefs, these people in hospitality. And you, kind of like I did in insurance, you did in other ways, transportation, photography, stuff like that. You got to know all of these people. You became a connector like I am, and you help them with certain things. And now you've taken a break, and now you need, you don't need, you're probably, getting offered a job by Frites Street, or they're...
The way that it happened is just so not a straight line.
Yeah.
And basically... I started helping him with some photography.
Okay.
And at one point I was like, hey man, you need a new website. You're not a food truck anymore. Let me rebuild your website. Hey, you shouldn't be posting reposted videos of kids eating French fries. You have a brand. You should own your content. You shouldn't post on social media anymore. So it slowly was Flip, you're really good at making French fries, and you're really good at selling French fries. And he is a connector too. He's you put him in front of anybody, and he's got you in the palm of his hand eating French fries. And but there were other places there was room for opportunity, and I just kept saying hey, I want to help you with this. Hey, I want to help you with this. Hey, I want to help you with this. And eventually I was like, hey, I can't do this for free, because then I can't work anywhere else and do anything else. So I was I just proposed. I was you need a marketing guy. Let me be your marketing guy.
Nice.
And
look at that. You
went from there.
Worked your way right into a job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's how it works. I mean, the creative industry.
Yeah.
Joni Simon would tell anyone this is like, you take pictures of the brand that you want to work with, you send them those pictures, show them what you can do, and then maybe they'll hire you. And like, that's just kind of how the world works.
Yeah.
You don't have to do everything for free. I'm not saying give your stuff away, but like, there are a lot of good reasons to just put yourself forward.
Well, that's what I do with my modeling pictures.
Yeah, absolutely.
It just works.
Oh.
So how long have you been there?
Man, I think 7 years, unofficially, unofficially.
And over those 7 years, what sort of like growth, what are some of the biggest things that you've seen?
Man.
I mean, obviously he has his own production facility now that I just insured, which is amazing.
Thank you.
But he had a smaller one before that, and then before
commissary
that,
kitchen. He was cutting, like when he first started, he was doing everything, out of a group commissary kitchen.
Yeah.
He bought like a little potato slicer. It was like, he's got a video of it. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
It's just like, it was an expensive piece of equipment back then, like I think like $500.
Yeah.
Now like the blades that we used to cut French fries cost like $10,000. Like it's nuts.
Yeah.
So like the scale has completely changed, but we had this warehouse in the air park that we cooked out of, and it was just like kind of pieced together, and other chefs cooked in there. Like that's
you had like 5 other people.
That's where LT got his start.
Yeah.
Like Brent from Sonoran Pasta and Jasmine. Like it was a community spot.
Cool.
And it was a really cool energy. But at the end of the day, we wanted to level up and we wanted to grow. And in order to do that, we needed to break ground and build something bigger. And that's where the facility came online in 2024.
How do you level up without losing yourself? Because I know he had to raise, it's in the Phoenix Business Journal a while back. He had to raise a shit ton of money. So how do you keep that control or that, that smallness of who you are, but become bigger?
It is a battle. It's a battle internally. It's a battle externally. Like you just have, or maybe not battle. It's a negotiation, because there are certain things that you have to do in order to grow responsibly, and there's certain things that you have to give up in order to be able to make money to get to the next level.
Yeah.
And then there's certain things that you can't compromise on. And like I just got done working on our first ever like official brand guideline, because it's all been in my head. I've had ideas, but there's been iterations, and like we're now at a point where like it makes sense that we need to have something specific, because we're working with a lot of bigger brands, and we want to make sure that they're representing us the way that we want to be represented, and we're representing them the way that they want to be represented. And I'm thinking about this, right? But like as I'm writing down the things that we care about, a lot of it is around how we talk to our customers, our partners, who our partners are. Like the restaurants that we work with aren't customers, they're partners, because they can choose to use us, they can choose to drop us. And we have to come from a place of understanding of the hospitality industry, because that's where we come from. That's where Flip comes from. Like everybody has been in some level of hospitality. And so it's just important to make sure that we can continue to communicate that. We're not Lamb Weston. We're not like Simplot. We're a company that is still close enough to the ground where we are listening to chefs and what they need. Yeah. And we're also making tough decisions. Like we actually cut our first product. Actually, it's our second product, but our first product that we have decided we can't make at this time anymore is our waffle fries. One of my favorite cuts.
Dude.
I know.
Yeah.
And this is the first time I'm saying it publicly. Like people are getting notifications, but it's a real bummer because we love it. But
it's just a pain in the ass to make, the molding and all.
Yeah, right. It's like a very specific way of cutting it. The potatoes have to be the right size. So like we have from the potatoes that we get from the different farms that we work with, they're anywhere from 4 ounces to like some of them are 12 ounces. Like the ones that you've seen that picture of Paige holding up the potato that's bigger than her head. Yeah. Like that's probably a 12-ounce potato. And the sweet spot for this specific cut has to be somewhere around 6 ounces. And
oh my God,
we are not set up to filter that through, and nowhere along the supply chain can we actually get just 6-ounce potatoes.
Yeah.
So if they're too small, then there's too much scrap and trim, and then it looks bad, and then you don't get enough like big fries in your bags. And if they're too big, they jam up the machine, and it takes too long to make. And so then the cost of goods goes up 3 or 4 times, and either we're losing money or we're charging too much for the product.
You got to leave that shit that Chick-fil-A did.
Yeah. Well, for now, that's where it is. Is like for now, it's on the back burner, and we're focusing on the stuff that we can do really well.
Yeah, that makes sense. So I mean, that's a business decision, 100%. So, wife, if you're listening, you're really going to appreciate this, and I have to tell you this story. So, I love hash browns. I love fries. I love potatoes without a bunch of crap in it. Right? Just organic, good potatoes. So I bought these organic hash browns from Trader Joe's, and all they are potatoes.
Yep.
Right. And I go and I buy a waffle maker.
Love this.
I'm not even kidding. To try to make my own waffle hash brown.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I buy this waffle maker. Again, here I'm talking about organic potatoes.
Yep.
I buy this damn waffle maker that's got all the silicone and all the poison that you could ever ask for in it. You know, it was like non-stick. It was like $19.99. And I'm like, I'm going to give this a try. So I go in, and I knew my wife went out for a walk, and I'm like, okay, cool. I'm breaking out the waffle maker. She's not around. Thinking like she's not going to come back anytime soon. Well, she catches me in the midst of trying to make these this hashed potato waffle, right? It was literally the worst disaster I had ever attempted. They don't make waffles. It stuck to the damn thing, I just threw the thing out.
Yeah. Okay. So, you should have texted me or Flip, because like we would have said, like what you need to do is make latkes. So you have to use a binder. You have to use other ingredients.
It's too much work.
And then you have to use like some kind of shortening to like make sure it doesn't stick, like some kind of.
All I'm trying to do here is let you know that I agree with you on the waffle. As much as it pains me, I agree with you. It's a pain in the ass for anyone to make waffle fries. So I mean, look, it's, when you're running a business and you get to a different scale and things start to happen, you got to make, like you said, decisions. But you guys still seem to be the indie rock of, the food, the fries, all the nine. You go out to all these festivals. This is something I was going to ask Flip. I'm like, do you ever get tired of going to festivals and doing the things? And I think I can speak for him, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but he's such an artist and a rock and roll sort of guy. I think he loves that. I think he loves being in front of the people and showing the different things that he has. And does he create, or do you guys create those recipes, I assume?
We do it together. It's mostly him, like doing R&D, but like we toss ideas back and forth. It's
great.
Like, it's usually last minute unless we have like another partner, because that's just like the chef's way sometimes. Like some people have their mise en place like ready to go. Some people like literally do it on the fly.
Yeah.
And some he's half. So like actually to dial it back and answer that question directly, yes, we're tired of it, and no, we can't stop doing it because we love it. Yeah. It's like, it's exhausting, and when you're trying to grow a business and like do things that like bring in more business and help you grow, and like you've got investors and all this stuff, it doesn't always seem like it's a good use of time, but I will actually like contradict myself and say it probably is, because like we did Devour this year, right? We've done it for the last, I don't know, since I can remember.
Yeah, seeing you out there every year.
And we made our 3/4 inch fry, the original cut that Flip made on the truck. It's like that big steak fry, Yeah. And we got Wagyu beef. We seared the Wagyu beef, and then we sprinkled a little bit of our butter chive sea salt that we make with sea salt, Jess Helgeson's company. And it was fucking incredible. It was so good. And like even Bernie from the Gladly, who is like basically Flip's mentor, came over and complimented the fry. And I think that was the first time he ever complimented the French fry that he like pushed Flip into like making. And like it was just a good moment. So
Does he use Flip's fries?
No.
What the?
I know, Bernie.
Oh, Bernie killing us.
Bernie.
Anyways, go ahead.
It's okay. It's fine. So like I will say like there's a price point for everybody, and like we make the most expensive French fries on the market. We have other products that like might work for some people these days. So like Bernie, hit me up. But we never hate that people don't use our fries.
No, of course not. I don't hate that people don't use me. It is what it is.
I know, exactly. But there's always room.
There's always room for
Yes. But so that, long story short, like, we got to go around and eat everyone else's food. So stop by and talk to Don from Barrio, and, him and Brent made this awesome pizza with the potatoes on it. And I look at him and I was like, hey, you could put our chips on there. Spinato's put our chips on there for an LTO. And he's like, oh, interesting. And like, we just like connected, and like, he's such a sweet guy. And like, obviously Brent's a really great friend, and like, didn't really follow up about it too much. And then he launches at that old Sonic in Gilbert, and he's got our cottage fries on there. So like, it's just like moments like that that make it worthwhile. And like LT was right there making his shrimp aguachile, and like just everything was meant to be, even though maybe that doesn't bring us revenue. It brings us closer to the chefs that we love and that we partner with, and then maybe someone will buy our fries. It's fine, but we have fun doing it.
Do you think being laser focused on one food item as opposed to trying to be everything to everybody really helps you guys in your process?
Yeah, I think it's a split, because one of the big benefits we hear from a lot of customers and partners is that we actually have a variety of cuts. We have I think 7 cuts now. It's hard to remember based on what we've cut and what we don't have. But, we have a variety of products that hits the right kind of needs, but also we're not doing tots right now. We're not doing sweet potato fries. We're making the best fries with the best potatoes. There's 4 ingredients across the board. It took us more than a year to find our seedless oil.
Really?
Yeah.
Seedless oil?
Yeah.
No kidding.
So
explain that.
If you've been keeping track of anything that RFK is doing in Maha and everything, one of the big buzzes over the last 6 months has been about seed-free oil.
Yeah.
Every potato, every French fry that everyone is eating is fried in canola oil, probably.
Yeah.
Or some kind of seed oil. And I won't go deep into the health benefits or the implications of what seed oil does, but there's, I can go way into the weeds, so I'm trying to keep out of it, but seedless oil is better for you. It just is.
And when you say seedless oil, for people listening, you're meaning avocado oil or tallow or olive.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And turns out
we are seeing a movement of tallow. You and I talked about that. True Foods is using tallow now.
Yeah, Amelia's down the street. One of my favorite restaurants is using tallow, and she was actually one of the people asking us, "When are you going seedless? When are you going seedless?" Because she wanted to be 100% seed free. She doesn't do seed in her buns and any of the stuff that she does. And I'm like, "We're working on it. We're working on it. We're working on it," because out of the gate, right? Avocado oil is really expensive. I want to say it's $3 a pound, which that means that we have to then raise our prices because we brine everything in water, vinegar, and salt for 24 hours, and then we blanch it in oil. And that's the twice fried Belgian style French fry. So that's what we make. And for the longest time, we were using a vegetable oil blend, and then we went 100% canola, and then we went 100% non-GMO canola. That was when we started looking into seedless, and then we found out avocado is just way too expensive. Right? There wasn't a product on the market that wouldn't adversely affect our cost of goods, so we kind of put a pin in it. We have a local oil partner who provides us with oil. They clean out our fryer and replace everything for us. And they'd been pushing this palm oil. And my initial reaction was palm oil, isn't that bad for you? Doesn't that deforest trees? Doesn't that kill orangutans? And so I was I didn't look into it any further. I just kind of stopped right there. And, after a couple more conversations, they're well, actually, this isn't that palm oil. This isn't the palm oil from the late 90s, early 2000s. This is a regenerative palm oil. It's non-GMO. It is from a 5-generation family farm in Colombia near Bogota. And they replant all these trees. They've never deforested. They use I think it's oxen, or I forget the animal, but they basically it's just this beautiful farm in Colombia, and it's high oleic, non-GMO palm oil, and there's nothing bad about it. It's the high oleic is similar to what you see in olive oil. It's high in antioxidants. It's made actually with a neutral temperature oil processing. So instead of using high temps that actually kills the antioxidants and all the good stuff in oil, to clarify it, they actually don't do that. So you retain a lot of those good benefits. And it's honestly, it's crazy because I never thought that I would be talking about oil.
Right.
And it lasts a little bit longer in the fryer. The fries, I think, taste cleaner. And then you have a seedless French fry that you can fry in whatever fuck you want out at the end of the day.
So that's amazing. So when you guys put the actual potatoes through the facility, it goes through the brining, all that, it gets cut and then goes through the brining and all that. Then do you put them in because I'm naive to this, do you put them into a first batch sort of fry and then basically bag it and then the restaurant gets it? Like,
yeah,
okay.
That's exactly it. So we've got these totes. It goes through like a washing process. They've already been washed, and then they get sliced, and then they go down the process to get brined, and then they get fried, and then they come off the conveyor belt, and then we package them, and then we freeze them.
Okay.
And then after we freeze them, they go out to the restaurants, and then the restaurants just drop them in a fryer for like 3 to 4 minutes, and they have twice fried fries.
Yeah. So they're okay.
Saves on labor, saves on storage. It also doesn't kill their oil because like when you do that process in house, you have to fry your fries again, and then every time that you fry your fries or fry a product, you're killing your oil. When I say killing your oil, it raises the TPMs. Mm-hmm. There's like a threshold of 24 TPMs, and if you don't get rid of your oil at that point, it starts to get toxic. And that's the stuff that you actually have to be worried about, even more than seed oil and non-seed oil is. How old is that oil?
Yeah.
Are you measuring that?
Wow. There's a lot that goes into this.
Nerdy stuff, right?
Yeah, it is. It's very cool.
Hopefully I didn't lose anyone there.
Yeah, right. All right. What, as far as like, if there's a restaurant or people listening to this, what would be the reasoning to say, leave a big distributor and come over and utilize you guys? And it's something above and beyond price. Like, what is it? What is the sales point here?
Yeah, I mean, they're the best damn fries in the country.
Yeah.
They are clean label. They're 4 ingredients. And like I said, it took us a year to find that oil because oil is our 4th ingredient.
That's awesome.
We never coat them. You don't have to do anything different to make them crispy because they're crispy on the outside, they're pillowy on the inside because of the way we process them, not because we add pea starch, not because we add coloring. Like I'm telling you, like our nearest competitor has 12 ingredients in their French fries. Why do you need 12 ingredients in a French fry?
Wow.
And like, there's no shame if that's what you use. And they call them like stealth fries. They call them super crisp. They call them these things that like need to like put the feature, the function of the fry in front of it. But like, we have French fries.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, go to Fire at Will locally here. Go to Chula.
Yeah, Arizona Wilderness Brewery. You can go to Zuzu. You can go to Unique Burger if you're vegan.
So like, go try these fries if you hadn't, and do it for the customer at least, right?
Yeah.
For the patron that comes in to eat, because they're just gonna have a better reaction.
A better experience too. And like, nobody talks about bad fries, but when they have a great experience, they literally will tell people about it. They'll go on. So I saw someone go to a restaurant and literally take a video of them taking their first bite of their French fry, and you could hear the crunch in the microphone. And then they're like, whoa, what's the seasoning in this? This is the best fry I've ever had. And it's like, it's just a French fry with salt.
That's it.
That's the special seasoning.
That's amazing. I love it. All right. Well, we're going to do a show and tell at the operation. I'll be doing a video to kind of follow up with this podcast or whatever. Yeah. Before I get into rapid fire questions, are there any other fry things you want to tell people?
Oh man. Yesterday was June 5th, right?
Yeah.
And that was National Ketchup Day.
Oh, wow.
A lot of people like condiments. I am one of them.
Okay.
I think
it's exciting.
Yeah, I think. Yeah. Friend, I'm trying to like pen this. I'm trying to get. Yes, I love that. So I'm trying to make this stick, but I really do believe that French fries are a platform for community. It's where a lot of people like. It's the plate that they share. Everyone gets a French fry for the table, right? And like, what's your favorite dipping sauce and blah blah blah, right? So. We love to do collaborations. We love to have fun with the people that we work with. And Jess Helgeson from Sea Salt Taste, it's been like a huge fun partner for ours. We launched a butter chive salt. All these salts are meant to be complimentary and evoke childhood memories for that. So we actually just launched a spicy ketchup salt yesterday with Cotino sauce and sea salt as a collaboration. Very limited, so that's awesome. We've got a bunch of collaborations coming up. Some chefs that maybe I talked about. We'll talk more about that. But put in your calendars. July 11th is National French Fry Day.
Nice.
We always do something fun. We're hoping to do something that whole week and do something that like really highlights the Phoenix community. So
Okay, that's great.
First week in July.
Dude, I love salt. Salt's like one of the best things ever.
I agree.
All right, rapid fire. You ready for this?
Yep.
All right. The 80s or the 90s?
Oh man, 80s.
Okay. All right. I'm with you. Crinkle or shoestring?
Crinkle.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, go ahead. Yeah.
Quick Amelia story. Amelia's has 2 cuts of ours. She has our 3/4 inch, and she has.
Dude, I get that with the burger every time.
Dude, same.
Love those.
But here's the thing. So like Paige wants the shoestrings. I want the 3/4.
Yeah.
So like the skinnier the fat. Like there's always a fry for somebody, and that's why it works for us.
Yeah. I like shoestring, but whenever fat's available, I get the fat.
100%.
Yeah. Prince or Michael Jackson?
Prince.
Social D or Black Flag?
Black Flag.
That was actually a flip question.
That was good. No, that's good. I like it.
Disney or Wally World?
Disney.
Text or call?
Text or in person.
Yeah, I'm with you. Ketchup or mayo?
Mayo.
Aliens or Bigfoot?
Aliens.
Perfect. Donuts or ice cream?
Oh, donuts and ice cream.
What's your favorite food truck out there right now?
Oh, shit. Dang.
Okay, first one that comes to mind, so I don't put you on the spot.
Yeah,
Everybody's
okay,
like, Gabe's an asshole, didn't mention my truck.
You know what's funny? I'll put one, my food truck that I want to try that I haven't had a chance to yet.
Yeah.
La Hamburguesa.
Okay.
He doesn't have our fries yet, but he might. But
Did he have a restaurant?
no, but I know he's talking about something a little more permanent. But he's stationed out somewhere like in the Light Avenues.
Oh, let's go. I'll go with you.
I'm down.
On cheat day. Books or podcast?
Podcast or book on tape.
Yeah.
Audiobook.
Okay. Would you rather seek advice or trust your gut?
Seek advice.
Do you trust your gut?
Yeah.
Okay, very good. Awesome. Where can everybody, if you're a restaurant listening to this, where can people get a hold, and this will all be in show notes,
Yeah.
we just talk about it. And then where can people find your art and all your stuff?
So from the French fry world, FritesStreet.com, FritesStreet.com, and Frites Street on Instagram. Those are the 2 best places to find out what we're doing.
Cool.
For me, I'm Shinyu on Instagram. It's SHINYUU. It's like best friend in Japanese. I have no reason to be this close to the Japanese culture, but I love it. And I've had that since I was probably like 10.
Oh, wow.
I was like my email.
That's like
everything
Jedi
else.
shit, dude.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. I like
Because
it.
you're not Japanese.
Not at all.
No.
Not at all.
What are you? Like white?
I am I'm Jewish, Romanian Jewish, and like Welsh and Scottish.
Cool.
Basically,
Right
pretty
on.
much white.
I'm Italian from the waist down, French from the waist up. All right, and on that note, hold on, let me see if I can get the drums again. Where is it? There we go. All right. Yeah, there you go. Bad joke. Is that funny?
I'm here for it. Oh, that was
Laugh
good.
track. Oh my God.
I need
All right.
one of these.
Everybody, thank you for listening. This was fun. Again,
it was
this
a lot
is
of fun.
episode 168. If you're into fries, please, by all means, go to a restaurant that supports Gabe and Flip and Frites. They're doing such an amazing job. I can't wait to put out the video and show how all this works. I think it's fascinating.
It is fascinating.
Yeah,
It really
I remember
is.
going to the facility back before we do the insurance on it, so I had to do inspection walkthroughs, and I've never seen it actually working. This was all the preliminary under construction. I think I even have pictures from it, but
Yeah.
I'm excited to go check that out. So, yeah, thank you for listening, and until next time, peace out.
Thank you.